Good evening everyone. On behalf of Vivekananda Samiti IIT Kanpur, I welcome you all to this 3-day lecture series on Vedanta. Before embarking on today's session, let me brief you about Vivekananda Samiti and its activities. Vivekananda Samiti is a club under the Community Welfare Cell of Students Gymkhana, functioning since 1968. Our goal is to disseminate and actualize the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. Working towards this goal, we organize lectures and workshops on many topics relevant to the modern youth, inspiring talks by eminent personalities, guided meditation sessions, spiritual retreats, Sanskrit classes, community service activities such as health camps, vaccination camps, clothes collection and distribution drives, and many more. By virtue of large spectrum of activities that have been conducted over the years, we have created a noticeable online footprint through our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. I request all of you to please visit our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. The addresses are given here. It's www.youtube.com/vsiitk and www.facebook.com/vsiitk. I am pleased to inform you that our YouTube channel has viewership over 1 million and our Facebook has more than 12,000 followers. Now moving on to today's session, Vedanta is one of the oldest philosophies of the world that originated in India. The word Vedanta can be interpreted as the end portion of the Vedas or the essence of Vedas. Vedanta attempts to answer questions such as, who am I? What is our true nature? What is the nature of the world? Is there any relationship between the individual self and the vast universe that stands before our eyes? How to lead a happy and fulfilled life? One of the popular schools of Vedanta, the Advaita school, claims non-duality of the reality. In other words, the microcosm, that is the individual self, and the macrocosm, that is the universe before our eyes, are reflections of one and the same reality. Although this claim is hard to accept, but there is a logical system of arguments that lead to this conclusion. And more importantly, several spiritual masters have realized this fact and have lived this ultimate philosophy. Hence, this claim of non-duality should not be ignored, but rather studied, contemplated, and realized. To learn about this classical philosophy, we have organized this 3-day lecture series. The program schedule is as follows. Tomorrow, September 24th, we will be having a discussion on Mahavakyas, the great sentences of the Upanishad. Swamiji will talk about this topic from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. in the same hall. This is lecture hall 8. So lecture 8, L8. So, and the day after tomorrow, that is Sunday, Swamiji will talk about Twam, Decoding the Vedas, and the timing is the same, 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and that is also in L8. Beside this lecture series, we are also organizing an informal interactive session with Swamiji. If you have any question, you can directly talk to Swamiji about this. So, in that interactive session, we will be mainly talking about meditation, Bhagavad Gita. Swamiji will give some, Swamiji will discuss about Swami Vivekananda's life, his teachings, his works, and practicing spirituality in daily life. So, if you have any question, you can contact Shubhadeep at this following number. Today, we are indeed fortunate to have Swami Narasimhananda ji Maharaj with us. He is a noted scholar and a speaker of Vedanta philosophy. He is the editor of Prabuddha Bharata, a monthly started by Swami Vivekananda in 1896, published from Advaita Ashram, Mayavati, Uttarakhand. Swami Narasimhananda is a monk of the worldwide twin organization Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission, started by Swami Vivekananda. Swamiji writes regularly on philosophy, social sciences, religion, Indology, Ramakrishna Vivekananda, and Vedanta. He has edited a compilation of Swami Vivekananda's teachings titled Vivekananda Reader. He also translates old Sanskrit text hitherto unpublished in English. Presently, he is working on English translation of Swarajya Siddhi and Maitrayani Upanishad. He is actively involved in formulating university syllabi in various Indian universities on various disciplines of humanities and social sciences, especially philosophy, religion studies, comparative religions, sociology of religion. Now I request on our Honorable Director, sir, to please welcome Swami Narasimhananda ji Maharaj with a shawl.
Our revered guest, Swami Narasimhananda ji Maharaj, my colleagues from this institute, devotees and followers of Swami Vivekananda, members of Vivekananda Samiti, and friends. At the outset, on behalf of the institute, on behalf of all of you and my personal behalf, a very warm welcome to you, sir. I must also tender my sincere apology for being late, but the profile of my job is that I only get flaks from all corners, and I had to actually, there's something that has happened, so for which I had to talk to the ministry and then kind of take care of the situation to whatever extent possible. So I was on the phone and I couldn't leave my office. You know, we as a country, as citizens of this great country, we all should feel very, very happy and proud that we had somebody and we still have somebody, an icon like Swami Vivekananda before us. I think that's a singular most, I cannot think of a better icon before the youth. And I think every year when I come to inaugurate or speak on this particular platform of Vivekananda Samiti, I repeat the same thing, that someone who could make so much of an impact that even after almost 100 years, he's considered to have largest number of followers throughout the world. An Indian, if you simply go by the number of followers of an Indian, for whatever reasons, maybe sports, science, or religion, or philosophy, Vivekananda actually has the largest number of followers throughout the world. I mean, what else can be a claim to fame for an individual? But this is not a popularity contest. What I'm trying to say is, what he said, what he thought, and what he wanted us to learn remains relevant even today, so much that still he has so many followers. How much have we been able to understand, and how much have we been able to translate? How much of his thoughts could we actually translate? That needs to be understood. And why I personally feel thoughts of Vivekananda so much relevant is because of the fact, look at the time frame and the backdrop when he flourished. India was under the British rule, and there was all kinds of confusion. Certainly there were nationalists, there was a lot of emotions running very high in the country. One side, political instability and difficulty. On the other hand, India was facing a major problem in terms of, and sort of an identity crisis, that there was a time, because of the British influence or European influence, almost everything Hindu or everything Indian was kind of looked down upon, or a very serious effort was made to prove to the country, the countrymen, that Indians are, very typical idol worshippers and have practically no connection. Their religion and all the practices have very little connection with the reality, and it cannot help people anyway or so on. Rather, a lot of ridicules, and even our own so-called educated class at some point of time found it more fashionable to ridicule the Indian philosophy rather than trying to understand. We also were in great poverty. Poverty not only in terms of money, in terms of leadership and quality of education, and poverty also which was hurting us in terms of the real polity. People were starved, there was not enough food, we faced famines and extreme disparity in the society, exploitations. In that backdrop, a period when actually Ramakrishna came to, was given this charge of being the head priest in Dakshineshwar. And when Vivekananda started interacted with him, I'm sure all of you are aware probably, I don't need to speak about that. But the circumstances which actually led to Vivekananda coming in contact with Ramakrishna, and then subsequently the whole episode of his getting completely a new view of the world through the interaction of Ramakrishna, is something which must have had some kind of a divine blessings, otherwise it wasn't easy for that to happen. Now, I personally feel all those circumstances, if we look around, I feel that there is a great relevance even today. The relevance comes from the fact that somebody was asking me the other day as to what is the difference you see from your student life compared to now. I said I was very fortunate because when we studied, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have internet, even TV just came. TV, I think in my childhood, the first TV show I saw in the country was the World Table Tennis match being held in Netaji Indoor Stadium in Calcutta. That was the first televised event in the country for mass. I'm talking about mid-70s possibly. So, point I'm trying to make is that the amount of distraction we faced during our period when we grew up was far less than what you face today. And I have no hesitation saying that a great potential strength of the youth society today is wasted. And that is a very major loss. I have no recipe, I have no formula that this is what exactly it should be, but I can clearly make out one thing I firmly believe, and I always, you would have heard me saying that the most precious thing in life, if you need to see the worth or learn the worth of it, is time. Rest, everything, almost everything is relative. What you consider today as the best or the much better or certainly desirable, you're never sure tomorrow whether the same value will remain. These are all relative measures. Time once gone, you can't bring it back, no matter how well you argue. And that is where I personally see that many of us tend to actually make a lot of mistakes. And because we make mistakes, we always are struggling to make good of the lost time, and because of that reason, we also are always trying to catch up. We are never in control of the matters. We always are trying to catch up. A student of in the early 20s or even younger, for you, other than studies, you would be in the playground. You'd be pursuing some creative form of some maybe music, maybe painting or something else. You must on one hand you must pursue your studies, and on the other hand you must allow your body also to grow, because at the age of 40 the chances of building your body, your organs and tissues and so on, that opportunity already is lost to a large extent. You can recover quite a lot of things, but you can't recover the lost time. So my point is that what I personally admire about Vivekananda Samiti is that they try to converge or try to focus on certain themes which are very relevant, not just today, but remains relevant for the entire tenure of a professional. You know, as professionals, we must realize that we are trained for certain traits, and we must excel in that. I mean, if you are an engineer, or if you are a doctor, or if you are a footballer, or whatever you are, you must be loyal to your profession and make your best attempts to live up to the expectation in that profession, and without compromising any values related to ethics or other matters. So I'm grateful that Swamiji is here today, and you all would certainly benefit from his discourse. I'm also very happy that Vivekananda Samiti is continuing with this tradition of I think they organize once or twice a year at least.
This is the third in this semester.
Okay, so obviously, so very many. I'm very happy that you are devoting your time and energy on this. But actually, I would also tell you that listening and taking part in deliberations is certainly very, very good. But what is even more important is how much of it you are able to sieve through, digest, and then implement or adopt in your personal life. And like, if we truly believe in Vivekananda, then we must put all the theories and all the discourse we hear to test, and then only believe. I think he would have been the last person to tell you that it's a sermon and you believe in that. Vivekananda is certainly not for that. So we must be ready to put all these that we learn and hear to test, and then realize from our own self as to what is really the truth and how much does it affect us and what exactly we need to follow. I think you would have definitely read stories about his childhood, like how he himself used to test many of the prevailing so-called beliefs that I don't know if you ever heard. Maybe I should spend 1 minute on that. Good to recount some of the stories about Vivekananda. Is always evergreen. I mean, never gets old. One day he was found as a child tasting the hookahs kept in the drawing room. His father was a very rich man and used to entertain people from all walks of life, different communities, rich or poor, more importantly influential people from the society. And he used to arrange very lavish meals for them, I mean, lunch or dinner or something. And while entertaining them, those days there was no cigarettes. They had these hookahs, these tobacco pots. But because of religious considerations, there used to be different hookahs kept for the Muslims, for the Christians, for the Hindus, for maybe Brahmins, for non-Brahmins, and so on. And somebody found him one day. He was caught smoking or kind of trying with different hookahs. So he was asked that, first of all, as a kid, you're not supposed to touch them, and then why so many you're trying? Why not one, or just happy being with one? He said, no, I'm actually, and his statement, that's the revelation, and that's Vivekananda. He said, no, I was trying to see whether I lose my religion. जात चला जाता है ना, अब जब ये छोड़ के वो पी रहे तो आपको जात चला जाएगा कि आप कैसे मुस्लिम के हुक्का छोड़ के आप क्रिश्चियन को हुक्का टच कर सकते हैं. So he was testing whether he actually loses his religion. So this purity of thinking and this objectiveness, you won't find another example. And this is what we need to learn. I mean, of course, as individuals, we cannot imbibe all the good virtues, qualities available. But some of these, if we can adopt in our life, it's going to make a huge difference. So certainly you are keen to hear Swamiji, not to me. So I would hand over the mic to him and thank him again for coming here. And please enjoy his talk. And I would seek your apology, Swamiji, that I have to go back. I told you that I'm doing something which I left half done. I have to go and pick up the threads, and then, and I don't want to disturb the talk while you say it. So it's up to my young friends to derive as much benefit as they can. And my gratitude again to you for coming here. And please, all of you, make the best use of the time of interaction that you can have with him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such inspiring words. Without further delay, I request Swamiji to take us through this journey of Vedanta, beginning with today's topic, the great illusion. Thank you.
So, good evening. And as Paramita told, without much delay, I begin with the question, what do you see here in front of you? What do you see? Huh? कोई हाथ से कुछ बना रहा है. What do you see? You see a person, right? I see many of you spectacled, including me, but of course this is not for distant vision, near vision. So many of you see through your glasses. And how are you sure that you see a person here? And all of you are from science or technology. And if we were to talk about science fiction as we stand here today, I could be an image which is being transmitted from somewhere around the world, say 10 years down the line, or being optimistic, say 5 years down the line. Or I could be an humanoid. How do you know that I'm a human being, Homo sapiens sapiens? I mean, it's difficult from this distance to know, right? Science fiction apart, even people who are into physics, I mean higher physics, know that we can reduce almost everything in this world into particles, and thereby we can reduce everything into chaos. So all of whatever you are seeing here around you, near you, or on this dais may be simply a chaotic situation, sometimes out of your hands. So how are you sure that you are actually seeing a monk who is named Narasimhananda? Again, biologically speaking, you all know, all of you had your moments, nostalgic moments where you find out your photographs from the attic and scan it, maybe add some sepia tone. I don't know why do they do that to old photographs, always sepia tone. Anyway, sepia tone and upload it on Facebook and say, "Dhoondho main kahan hu." And so biologically you are changing. How do you know that you are the same person who has to be found with great difficulty in that photograph? How do you know? I know I am starting with a bunch of questions, but that's how we have to start. Any one of you aware of a subject called neurology? All of you are aware. Anyone who has studied neurology? Hands? No. In neurology there is an interesting disorder. It's called apraxia, A-P-R-A-X-I-A, which leads to disidentification with body parts. Suddenly you have a person who says, "Ye kiska haath hai?" But that's a very pathetic disorder. So even neurologically speaking, we have parts in the brain, particularly the parietal lobe of the brain, human brain, which deals with relating to the body. That means if that particular part of the brain is non-functional or damaged, or there is a genetical disorder, then you will have tough time in locating your own body. Sounds interesting, right? So neurologically speaking, how do you know that you are what you think you are? Again, so biologically we have no surety that we are what we are. And also psychologically, how do you know that I actually have studied whatever I am talking to you now? How are you so sure? We have seen it all in Bollywood movies that somebody is not actually dictating me these things in something that I see somewhere. Or how do you know that I actually believe in these things which I am talking to? That's how you all get caught up into problems, right? You don't know whether you are talking to a friend or a foe. You don't know whether the person in front of you who is offering a hand for a shake means well for you or means harm to you. And that is why you all go through what I like to call the Facebook relationship cycle, right? Single, committed, in a serious relationship, married, complicated, single. Anyway, so the point is, even psychologically it is difficult for you to tell what you see in front of your eyes is what actually you believe it to be. And so Vedanta or no Vedanta, philosophy or no philosophy, religion or no religion, there is practically no way to say that what you see is not an illusion. That's what I am driving at. What you see actually is an illusion. There could be, of course, optical illusions, but we are talking about illusions within illusions. And even otherwise, this whole world is not exactly what you think it to be. And so we are constantly flitting between different worldviews, different paradigms of understanding of this world. And that is part, or rather whole, of the problem, which we in one word call suffering. You see, why have you come to IIT? To get what I call again RKM, Roti Kapda or Makan, not Ramakrishna Mission anyway. So to get RKM, and as Professor Mishra here was telling, to get vitamin M money. You come to IIT for that. You go out of IIT for that. You get a job, you get somebody better half or bitter half, as the case may be, and then anyway you are in for trouble. So you start your journey, or that's what you think you do, to get out of suffering. Interestingly, philosophy, love of knowledge as it is translated, is a journey to get out of suffering. Religion also is a journey to get out of suffering, and also psychotherapists and emotional counselors, marriage counselors, career counselors all make money to get you out of suffering. Thereby they also get into suffering because they don't know where to place this money. So now this suffering comes because of illusion, and this illusion is quite complicated. The first thing why it is complicated is because we don't know that it is an illusion. You see, who is the best magician who can make you believe that what actually he does is reality, right? Now we are always in an illusion where you are made to believe that what you see is reality. And the first question a Vedantist will be asked is, oh, you say that this world is unreal, but I do see everything is real. You see, it is palpable, it is vivid, it is lucid. And so how you can say that this world is unreal? That's what everyone comes out with. First objection. You say that this world is not there. As they say, Jagat teen kaal mein nahi hai, past, present and future. But then they say the palpability of this world proves against it. Now in personality, I don't know whether you know, but there is a textbook example of a woman in United States of America way back in the 1950s who had 56 kinds of personality, and that's called multiple personality disorder, which of course you know, if not from psychological textbooks but from Bollywood. There is something else also called as dissociative personality disorder, where again a person, but now not for neurological reasons but for psychological reasons, cannot identify oneself with one's body. So just imagine a person dressing up for a party, goes in front of the mirror and says, "Wo kaun hai?" And that does happen. It's a rare disease, but it does happen. So again we are left to wonder what this illusion is about. Now coming to Vedanta, Vedanta can be deceptively simple, as most philosophies are. People who went to Ramana Maharshi with great expectations that he will come up with an answer, like a eureka answer, and they will have this aha moment when they will know what truth is all about. And then he says, just be as you are, or just chup raho. And this person is like puzzled for the rest of the life. So like that, Vedantic answers can be deceptively simple, and this answer is, all of you know this illustration. There is a dark room and there is a coiled rope kept there, and you stumble upon that rope and you mistake it to be snake, and you start sweating, you start palpitating, you start running away, you try to beat the snake, maybe you use some chemicals, or if you know how to play musical instruments, been bajana shuru kar denge, or you will do some mantra, abracadabra, whatever. But all these activities you are doing, all the time thinking that the snake is there. But is there something? Is there something? Huh? Is there nothing? What is there? Rope. But was there any snake? In the past, in present or future, will there be any snake? Will there be or not? Huh? Arey na bhai, instead of that rope, no snake. And was the rope all the time present there? Yeah, but the beauty of this thing is the experience of your palpitating, the experience of your sweating, the experience of your trying to run away or try to utter some chants were all real. And so that is this illusion. So this whole world, now again, how this is so simple and very convenient. How do you say that this is all illusion? Because you can't make a decent living, you cannot make your both ends meet. You just say Maya. No. The reason we posit this illusion is because there is suffering. How many of you are from electronics, like electric? Okay. So long back when our dabbas, computers came into the scene, you had a situation where you could, inside the motherboard, there were so many things to be plugged and sockets. So I don't know whether you know that, but you could actually plug it both ways. And I myself have short-circuited many motherboards because of doing it the wrong way. So, but now it is not possible, because it comes with a dent in the wrong side and you cannot plug any plug in the wrong way, right? Right? So there is a thumb rule going that if you have to apply too much pressure or if you have to do it forcibly, that means you are doing it wrong. You are doing it wrong. Similarly, if in this world you are getting suffering, that means my mota brain says that you are doing it wrong. Don't you think so? And that is why Vedanta posits that this whole thing is an illusion. And this illusion is like this. The world as it is, or the universe as it is the rope. And the kind of idea which we have superimposed on that, just like when you take an ordinary person to be your lover, similarly, you are superimposing some other idea on that rope, and because that superimposed idea of snake gives you suffering, you suffer. And this universe gives you suffering in the terms of what is in Vedanta called duality. So when are you afraid of someone? When there is a someone. When do you love somebody? When there is a somebody. When do you hate somebody? When there is a somebody. So in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in Sanskrit it is told, Dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavati. Out of duality arises anger, anger including all other human emotions which we suffer from. So now again one may say, what is the problem? Life is ups and downs. Life is full of suffering, happiness. You can't have only the cake and eat it too. You have to have both sides of the equation. So what's the harm That may be an objection which someone may raise. Many people have raised across centuries. And the answer is, yeah, it were true. If it were true and if every one of you suffered, then we could have accepted this, that yes, there is no other way. But there are people who found way. They found out a way, just like the Buddha, out of suffering. They found out a way to always be blissful. So that means, though very few people have become billionaires, but it is possible to become multiple billionaire, right? One of the other various reasons why you are in this place to begin with. So similarly, there is this possibility that you can have a life or you can have a worldview which is without suffering. Just imagine where you don't have to worry at all. Just imagine where you don't have to bother whether you have a fever or chikungunya or dengue, which has become an epidemic in many parts of this country now. So, did you know that? Dengue, yes. So, all these things you don't need to worry about because you have a worldview which takes you beyond these things. What is that worldview? Now, as I told you, many people say Maya. Everything is Maya. Any one of you, can you tell me what Maya is? Anyone? Apart from telling me that it's the name of someone. Kind of attachment. What kind of attachment? Glue. Fevicol ka jod hai. Affection. Affection, attachment means the same thing. Anybody? Brahm. उसका मतलब क्या होता है? आपने तो अनुवाद कर दिया इसका. Anybody? Maya means false attachment. It is not only an attachment, it is also false. ये कोई सवाल ही नहीं हुआ, ये तो ऐसा फालतू बच्चा भी जानता है, आप क्या पूछ रहे हो? That is the kind of stance he is having. Anyway, can anyone tell me what is Maya?
You identify yourself with something.
Anyone knows a software called Maya? You know? Who knows? Hands up. Baap re. What's your name? Rajesh ji, we are not here to talk about anything supernatural. Do I look like anything supernatural? We are all grounded to the ground, just like before takeoff. So, Maya means, I will tell you what is Maya. Come back to the dark room. There is a coiled, what? Rope. चाय पानी नहीं पीते ना शाम को, दोपहर के खाने के बाद सब अभी. What is there? Decibel level. What is there? And so you are mistaking it to be what? Snake. है ना? Snake. But in the process, what does happen? In the process, what does happen? You palpitate. You get afraid. You start sweating. Now, the moment you understand, somebody switches on the light, the moment you understand that the rope is not, actually it's a rope, it's not a snake, but your sweat is still there. It has not dried. That is Maya. The sweating, the palpitation, everything in spite of what you saw being completely illusion. But that was real. That is Maya. And that's why Swami Vivekananda calls it a statement of facts. For example, you go to Facebook, you find some picture, send a friend request. Believe me, that's where all trouble starts. Okay, and then you see, kab accept hua, kab accept hua. Sometimes people will like 1,000 times go and see. How many of you have gone through this? Okay, so that is Maya. And then you suddenly you see that nothing is coming, or then it is coming, and then you post a picture and nobody is liking, right? And that's why now Zuckerberg has put all those emotions also, but even that nobody is liking and all, no emotions coming, and so you become so emotional and blah blah blah. So anyway, that is Maya. Because you know all the while that this is not going to go far. You know all the while that isse kuch hone ka nahi hai. But still you want to like get likes and this. That is Maya. That moment, that is Maya. And so this false appearance, this false running and the experiences it causes, that is Maya. But it is not that Maya is not there. There's a difference. There's a thin line of difference, but of course a very vital difference. It is Maya, but it does exist. It is not that it is not there. What? Just like, suppose if I were to say that there is a flower on sky. This is the Vedantic example used. In Sanskrit we call it Akasha Kusuma. I say that there is a flower on sky. Can there be any flower on sky? There can't be. Can there be horns for rabbit? So somebody has seen a rabbit from afar and rabbit ke kaan khade ho jate hain na, like that. So he thought that it has got horns, but that's a mistake. That's not an illusion. It's something which does not exist. It's not existing. It's called alika in Sanskrit. It does not exist at all. So Maya is not like that. You cannot say it does not exist, because as long as you were seeing the snake in the rope, it did exist. That is why आपका blood pressure बढ़ गया या कम हो गया. That is why you were about to faint. That is why you started sweating. It does exist at that moment in time. But did snake exist? No. So Shankaracharya will say in his Viveka Chudamani, in a poetical verse, that you cannot say that Maya is there. You cannot say that it is not there. But it is somehow present. And so you cannot say it is there, you cannot say it is not there, and so it is somewhere in between. And so Swamiji, as I already told you, called it a statement of facts. This is Maya. Now, illusion creates this Maya. Ignorance creates this Maya. It's because of ignorance that you see Maya. Now, so many Vedantic terms. To put it in a different language, suppose I knew what the reality in the terms of particle physics was, and if I had a worldview to see everything that I see through those eyes, I don't see a person, I see only so many particles, then what would be the situation like? Or as I was telling you in psychology, I just see a person as a bundle of so many psychological disorders or so many psychological fragments, then what would the world look like? Or if you are a neurologist or a neurobiologist, you see a person as a series of firing of neurons at various levels for various purposes, then what would be the situation like? But I am talking about a reality which is homogeneous. Now please listen to this. Anyone into cosmology here? Anybody who has studied cosmology? You don't teach, you have astrophysics here, right? Anyone into astrophysics? You are there. So cosmology you would have studied, yeah. Nobody else from cosmology? So yeah, then we have only one person to refer to. This reality which I am talking about, which is the Vedantic reality, is homogeneous, infinite, and one. Is there any parallels with cosmology? What? That you knew anyway. It's elementary knowledge. So, Advaitic reality or non-dual reality called Brahman, or you can call it anything else, is homogeneous, but I would not use the word isotropic, is infinite and non-dual. We don't say single, because single presupposes double. When you say one, it presupposes 0 and 2. So I say non-dual, for which there is no duality, no second. You see, so then again we bring this concept of conscious and unconscious. Now can anyone tell me what according to you is conscious? What is your name? Shashwat. Do you know what does that mean? What, that you will not die? Eternal. Okay, tell me what is conscious according to you? Yeah, that which can feel. Anyone else? You? Red. Yeah, if whatever happening you are aware, then that is a conscious entity. Anybody else? Aware. You know, according to my worldview, this is conscious. this is conscious. This spectacle is conscious, this board is conscious. In fact, in my worldview, there is nothing which is unconscious. How do you like it? And that is a logical worldview. Because if you say that this whole world is illusion, and then there is one infinite homogeneous reality, how do you think there can be a conscious and unconscious difference? It don't make sense, right? Because if it had to be infinite, it had to be, by definition, one. There can be no two, because then wherever the one ends, there will be already a boundary for the second. Are you getting me? Are you following me? Or pura Yorker ho gaya? Was that clear? Was that clear? नहीं, समझ में नहीं आया. देखो, अगर ये सबसे बड़ा चौक है, तो I am saying that there is one reality, but if there were two realities, then the space where this reality ends and this space, so there will be automatically two, right? For something to be infinite, it has to be one. Don't you think so? Because otherwise, if it has got a finite boundary in space, then automatically it will become two, and then it will no more be infinite and no more be one. Similarly, if I were to say that reality is infinite, but there is something called conscious, something called unconscious, then I will have two definitions of reality. Conscious infinity, unconscious infinity, which will be absurd. Don't you think so? Don't you think so? कितने लोग सो गए? खराटे मारो. No, is it clear? Or is there some gray area? सबको समझ में आया? Huh? No. What did you not understand? At all. Thank you for your honest appraisal. Suppose there is something infinite. What does infinite mean? No boundaries, right? Suppose there is one infinite something. I say that according to my worldview, reality is infinite. That means there can be no boundaries in space, right? But I say reality is infinite, but there is something called conscious and there is something called unconscious. Then will there be a boundary? So that means what I am saying is absurd, right? And that is why, according to my reality, only conscious things exist. There is nothing called unconscious. Only thing is, I am perceiving it as unconscious. I see this chair as chair, which cannot talk to me, but that is my foolishness. I see somebody as very intelligent and somebody as less intelligent, but that again is my foolishness. In reality, they are only showing different degrees of manifestation because of my ignorance, but in reality, there is only one conscious principle. समझ में आया? सब लोग बोल रहे हैं हाँ, क्योंकि और पकाओ मत. Yeah, and that is why the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad will say, Dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavatiya, as I told you, that all our emotions come because of this idea of duality. But there is no duality to begin with. You see, whole array or whole range of problems of human life is because you, the other, and me. That is the source of all problems. Just imagine if I didn't have that, then do you know what will happen? Even a snake will not bite you. Seriously. Have you ever wondered why there are incidents in almost all saints' life where they say that they were sitting in a forest and a tiger came and it just looked at them and went away? It is there almost in every saint's life, one such incident. It's because they did not perceive that tiger to be different from them, and the tiger also responded by not attacking them. But anyway, as they say in all the advertisements, mutual funds are subject to market risk. Na? Similarly, please don't try that. It can be done only by professionals, so please don't try this stunt. Anyway, so Mandukya, now I come to Vedanta, a text which you may be familiar with. It's called, इससे बड़ा चौक नहीं मिलता है क्या? ना दिखा मुझे. सिर्फ कपिल ही कॉमेडी कर सकता है क्या? It's called the Mandukya Upanishad. Now this Mandukya, it comes from the word Manduka. Can anyone tell me what is Manduka? Frog. Manduka. Manduka means frog. That's why there is a phrase Kupa Manduka. Can anyone tell me what it is? कुएं का मेंढक. हम लोग सभी हैं. Like you are just telling our name. Kupa Manduka. So Manduka means, can anyone tell me why this Upanishad, which by the way generally mean texts which are found in the later part of Vedas, can anyone tell me why this Upanishad is called after a frog? Like Chinese the kya? Huh? Anyone? आप बीती है ये, means autobiographical. Anyway, Manduka because frog hops, and so this Upanishad leads you through a step-by-step process to go and understand your reality, your real nature, and so it's a hopping process. Manduka. Can anyone tell me what an Upanishad means? Upa means going near, and Ni means definitely, and Shad means getting a knowledge which will loosen up your bonds, or your bonds of suffering or bonds of wrong understanding, etc. So anyway, Mandukya Upanishad has this beautiful commentary by a person called Gaudapada, who was the guru of Shankaracharya's guru, whose name was Govindapada. Anyway, Gaudapada, he wrote a commentary called Mandukya Karika. Karika is a kind of meter in Sanskrit. Like we have different kinds of meters. So Karika is 1 meter, which can be loosely translated as a stanza of a poem. And so there are different 4 chapters are there where he talks about the unreality of the universe, how to realize the unreality of the universe, etc., etc. This Mandukya Karika has been studied in depth for across centuries now. By whom? Quantum physicists. Schrodinger, one person. Many people have studied anyway. Schopenhauer, philosophers, and then Buddhists. In fact, some Buddhists would claim that this Mandukya Karika is a text which is in reality a Buddhist text which goes as a Vedantic text. Anyway, then psychologists, neurobiologists. In fact, I would like if you can get a copy of a book called Waking Dreaming Being. Waking Dreaming Being by Evan Thompson, published from the Columbia University in 2015. There, this person is a philosopher, but he goes into various forays of neurobiology, Buddhism, meditative techniques, physiology, neurology, so on and so forth, to make us question the certainty with which we think that everything which we see around us is real. You know, our problem is that we are so, okay, what's our problem? What is our problem? What do you think is your problem? First of all, do you think you have a problem? Because if you don't, you seriously have a problem. What is your problem? Anyone? What is our problem?
We are so much into ourselves.
Exactly. We are so much into this, maybe not even this. If you zoom out, you know how to do that, no? Photoshop. Anyway, control minus minus in Photoshop. मुझे पता है Photoshop. Control minus. He was wondering like, Photoshop. Control minus minus. बाहर निकलो. Control minus minus, if you do, you come out and out and out and out and out, and according to our cosmology, they have not yet found the borders of the universe. Have you? No. As of now, we have not. So anyway, so you just come out and out and out and out, you are nowhere. All you see is a black homogeneous thing. In fact, recently somebody asked me, how do you know it is black? If you go near, you will see some light. I said, go to NASA, do some research. So it's all one homogeneous, without any color, without any light, and we don't know. And we're making so much about what I wear, which color t-shirt, और वो like करेंगी कि नहीं करेंगी, sorry, और करेगा कि नहीं करेगा. It's IIT, right? So you know the gender ratio. So that's why I said करेगी कि नहीं करेगी. So tag करेगी कि नहीं करेगी, ये वगैरह वगैरह, and you are caught up in that. In fact, philosophers will tell you that you are caught up in this and this, I and mine, ahankara, mamakara, I and mine. ये मेरा मोबाइल फोन है, and you see how we market, no? We use it, customized desktop, customized lock screen, customized ये, customized वो. Anyway, there is this one chapter in this Mandukya Karika which is called Vaitathya Prakarana. That means the section dealing with unreality, falsity of this universe. And so, what is it told there? There, now I come directly to that. Now I am following that section of this Mandukya Karika to just bring some points how unreality of this world is impressed upon you. How many of you don't dream? You don't dream? Huh? Oh, you understood. मैंने सोचा आप सर खुजरा रहे थे, वो ऐसे कर, अरे मैं कुछ नहीं कहा. So anyway, so all of us dream, right? So when you dream, you see that you are रोल्स रॉयस में जा रहे हो, है ना? कम क्यों देखना है भाई, सपना ही देखना है तो अच्छे देखो. रोल्स रॉयस में जा रहे हो, पीछे लोग आ रहे हैं, सर 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 वन इंटरव्यू, नो, ऐसे जा रहे हो. सो यू आर गोइंग लाइक दैट एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स. अब मुझे ये बताओ, आप सो रहे हो, यू आर asleep, and how did this Rolls Royce come into your body? Like, there is no logic of space. Is there any logic of space? Huh? Also, there is no logic of time. You sleep for say half an hour. You know the kind of sleep people generally have in IIT. सुबह 6 बजे को याद आया कि सोना है. फिर 9 बजे को उठना है. So people are like all power yoga, nidra, asan and something, I don't know. Even Patanjali would have been confused. So they will like go into sleep and all that. And us beach mein, you're going to New York, having an appointment in Washington with Barack Obama. My God, like how can somebody do that? You have flights, like it takes 24 hours to go to the US of A, but you are there. Like there is no logic of time, there is no logic of space, and there is no logic of anything. You know, how many of you have tried to look again at the face of a person you saw in a dream? आपको मेरा सवाल समझ में आया? हाँ, बहुत सारे लोग इसलिए फेल होते हैं, क्वेश्चन पेपर में नहीं समझ में आता. तो लिखेंगे क्या? मतलब आपने किसी को देखा और मुड़ के, वो बोलते ना पलट पलट, क्या बोलते हैं? तो कॉस्मोलॉजिस्ट हंस रही है. तो पलट पलट पलट, तो वो किसने पलट के देखा सपने में? हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव सीन अगेन अ फेस? टेल मी. बात समझ में आई? आपने किसी को देखा सपने में और फिर से मुड़ के देखा, ऐसा कभी हुआ है? हाँ, हाँ? हुआ ऐसे? बचपन में होता था, अभी आपका बुढ़ापा आ गया सर. तो एनीवे, तो वो पलट पलट वाला ना, वो शाहरुख खान, तो जो भी है वो शाहरुख खान ही है ना? हाँ, पता नहीं, अब सिलेबस बदल रहा है ना. तो वो पलट पलट करके नहीं हुआ. But if you ever look at the same face again in dream, you know what happens? The face changes. Face changes. अभी आप इसको मैं देखूं तो पहले क्या होगा? तो इसको, his body will be there. Suddenly his head will become of the monkey or something. No, I have nothing against you. ऐसे बदल जाता है. या चश्मा पहना उसने तो वो अचानक चश्मा निकल जाता, दाढ़ी आ जाती है. Or if you try this, you write something, say bat, okay, or you are reading bat in the dream, try reading it again, it changes. You suddenly see that you are no more holding a book at all or a notepad. You would be wondered, how do you know that? Of course, you can go to Google Scholar or Google and Bulbul. You know, na? Google is Bulbul. किसी ने नहीं सुना ये गाना? हाँ? नहीं सुना? हाँ? IIT में क्या करते हो? इंटरनेट भी नहीं देखते. Google Bulbul, Google कर लेना. बहुत अच्छा गाना है. तो anyway, so like that you go to Google and search, and then you find out that there has been wonderful research done on this topic of re-looking, re-perceiving things in dream. And we know for a fact that once you do that, things change. So there is no cause and effect also. कितने लोगों को ये सपना आया है कि आप लोग बचपन के साथियों के साथ IIT का एग्जाम दे रहे हो? आया ना? गुड. सैम्पलिंग ठीक ही है. इतने से बड़े में एक आदमी को आया है. तो यू सडनली हैव दिस कि आपका मामा आपके साथ बैठ के ना बीटेक का एग्जाम दे रहा है. डजंट मेक एनी सेंस. सो देयर इज नो कॉजेशन ऑल्सो इन ड्रीम. टाइम डजंट वर्क इन ड्रीम. Space doesn't work in dream. Causation doesn't work in dream. And so the Mandukya Upanishad says that dream is unreal. And one logic is, it may seem funny, it says in dream you see elephant, but where is the space for elephant to come? So that is why we say that dream is unreal. And because there is no time, it is unreal. And also, if you are dreaming that you are in New York and suddenly somebody comes and wakes you up, you are in Kanpur. Oh my God. So there is no continuity of space also in dream. There is no continuity of time. And there is no continuity of anything. People say that dream is a permutation combination of what you are seeing in the waking state, right? But a wrong permutation and combination. You will see all kinds of weird creatures and weird things in dream. ये सब कुछ आपके memory से ही आ रहा है, but wrongly adjusted. All of you know what is defragmenting, right? Dream is the defragmentation of your mind. Your mind is defragmenting when it is dreaming. And so, dream does not exist. And immediately, just like the name of the Upanishad, Mandukya Karika does a leap and it says, because dream is unreal, waking is also unreal. What is the logic? In dream I see things which do not exist, which do not make any logic. And so, if you see anything which does not make any logic, that is unreal. And so, in waking, nothing makes logic, and so waking is also unreal. Now I know many people cannot gulp it down. बोले ये तो बहुत दूर का फेंका है. That is difficult for you to assimilate. But that's how Mandukya Upanishad comes to this conclusion. Are we out of time? Huh? Yes. मैंने उस बंदे ने तो इतने फास्ट से यस बोला. मतलब मैं ये छोड़ दूं मैं. Okay, okay, okay. It says okay. बूढ़ा है चलो छोड़ दो something. Okay, I will wind up. You see, we have this. I will be here for some time now, 2 days, and we have this discussion and all going. So anybody, it's actually, I'm telling you, it's a topic which is of great interest and great possibilities. Just imagine that if you knew that the whole world is unreal, how much more could you actually do in this world? It's kind of paradoxical. In fact, as I am talking, there are research projects going on where a soldier will not be, shocked when he will be hit by a bullet. So, mostly when a person is shot at, it's more than the impact of the bullet, but the shock of the bullet that makes that person fall down. So, people are in even army situation, they are researching how to make a person free of the body idea. Just imagine if that could be done in student life. You can do anything. But it is possible. That wisdom is there. Only thing, we have not tapped it properly. We have not clicked at the right place. So there were so many things, but because of various reasons, I don't want to delay you. And if you have questions, maybe I can take couple. No, I don't want to continue the lecture. I want you to ask me some questions for those 10-15 grace times which Arjak has so kindly and graciously given. So anyway, so please, if you think, like first you can start from, I will give you a range. Like you can say that you are totally out of your mind and you are like something bak diya aapne, iska koi matlab hi nahi hota. You can start from there and you can come to some discussion on Mandukya Karika. Means in this range you can ask me anything. Anything. Like what I told you now is that the whole world is illusory, but that is not a worldview which is shared only by Vedantins. It's a worldview which is shared by neurophysiologists. It's a worldview which is shared by many biologists, evolutionary biologists, for example. So please ask me. No, actually the logic, no, it proceeds like that, but later on it explains why it says like that. Mandukya Karika text, first it says because dream is unreal, waking is unreal. It comes like that as a blow. But then in the same section it explains, whatever you see or whatever can be seen is unreal. That is the idea. Whatever can be perceived by the senses is unreal. Why? Because whenever you perceive a thing, there is a person who perceives. I'm not very good at drawing. So there is a person who perceives, and there is something which is perceived, and the process of perception. This is called Jnatra, or the knower. This is called Jnaya, the known, and this whole process is called Jnana, or knowledge. So if I have to see you as a physical body, I have to use my eyes. So it's called mediate perception, mediate. There is the medium of so many things. If my eyes are working, but if my optic center in my brain is not working, I will not be able to see, but my eyes can be donated, other people can see. Conversely, if my optic center in the brain is working and my eye is not working, my eye is damaged or my retina is damaged, I cannot see. So it depends on so many other circumstances, and so the knowledge is vitiated or influenced by those circumstances. It depends on light. It depends on how you are. Suppose somebody has not properly, has covered oneself. I cannot see you. There is an obstruction. And that is why, using that logic, it is told that anything which is mediate, which requires a medium, is unreal. Anything that is needed to be known using some medium is unreal. So anything that can be seen, drishya, is unreal. Only the person who sees, or the consciousness behind that person who sees, is real. That is the logic. Now, again, for want of time, this is something which I can go on and on for hours, but most of you will not be there. You cannot see the consciousness, a very good point you have raised, through these things. You cannot see the consciousness through sense organs or through eyes, etc. And that is why the seeing or the realizing of consciousness is called aparoksha anubhuti, means without any external sense organs. And so it is called an immediate perception. Immediate. There is no medium, because the moment you have medium, it will be unreal. The jada, that's what I told you, there is no jada in reality. There is only Chaitanya. So the very fact that we see something as unconscious is because of our ignorance. This is the Advaita Vedanta standpoint. Some people are planning to quit, understandably so. Yeah, this is also a very good question and a very age-long objection. One is the palpability argument, that you are saying the world is unreal, but how is it palpable? And the answer to that is, world is unreal. See, palpability, na? मैं तो देख रहा हूं, मैं पकड़ रहा हूं. Then how can you say unreality? So, no, your question was not that. I know that. I will come to that. I am developing into that. So, this world as the rope is real. As the snake, it is unreal. It is not that there is nothing. There is something. Only thing is not as we see it. And so it answers the palpability. We are feeling it so real because it is real as consciousness. And from there, we are able to see so many people, right? These divisions are made because of our, what is it called? Because of our ignorance. But then your answer should be, you see me, I also see you. There is a reciprocity. It's not that you see me, but then again there is this solution, but you see me and I see you, maybe externally more or less same, but never psychologically same. Psychologically it is never the same, never. So that is why the answer is, actually I don't see what you see in me, or you don't see what I see in you. Any other question? Yeah. So see, yeah, very good question. You all know that our sleep is divided into two phases. Can anyone tell me what this means? REM, rapid eye movement, non-rapid eye movement. So people who don't keep their eyes open and sleep, for normal people who don't keep their eyes, because many people have sleepwalking disease and keep their eyes open and sleep, you will say, hey, kya kar raha hai, abhi soya kyun nahi, to wo karate bar raha hai, jo bhi hai. Other people, if you go near a person when asleep, that person's eyeball will be moving. That is called rapid eye movement phase of sleep. And it is in that phase of sleep that you dream. Now, non-rapid eye movement is comparable to coma, or it is called deep sleep, when you don't dream. There is a common misconception, people say, mujhe to sapna hi nahi aata, I don't dream. That is because these are practically almost 50% of your sleep. And if you get up during REM phase, if you get up when you are dreaming, only then you will remember the dream. If you get up when it was deep sleep, you will not remember your dream. And some other researchers, they say, it is difficult to wake up a person if that person is dreaming. And if that person is not dreaming, it is easier to wake up that person. Okay. So this is the thing. So your question was? Huh? Yeah. So your question actually was? Because this classification, conscious, subconscious, unconscious, it has got many classifications according to many psychologists. So I would not give you any classification, but I would just say that it comes from the mind. No, not mind. Consciousness. Reality is, there is no mind in, mind is a wrong perception of reality. Mind, body, all these things are wrong readings. They are like different forms of snake. In reality, there is only consciousness. Okay. So this, in ignorance, dream comes because of mind. And as I told you earlier, to use that analogy, it is like defragmenting of your mind. So technically speaking, if a person does not dream, that person will become mentally unstable. Or that person has to be a great yogi who has conquered thoughts, who has no thoughts. Then that person will not dream. I don't hope either category is there here. Any other question? Yes. Yeah. What is reality? You have to find it out for yourself. But You see, starting, no, you cannot, because my perception of reality will be different from what you perceive. The starting point and where we all should agree is that what we see is unreal. You cannot say that this is reality, because then, just like, what do you love, ice cream or pizza? No, what do you love? Ice cream. I know the choice was difficult. So any pizza. So if I order the same pizza, one for you, one for me of course extra large. So, so if I order that, then my perception of the pizza will be completely different. Though we will say इसमें तो डाला है, उसमें ये डाला है, हाँ सब कुछ ठीक है, but we will have a different perception, both of us. Similarly, if that is the case with a gross thing as pizza, imagine what will happen when we are talking about the whole worldview changing, right? It's not just some pizza. So there can be no meeting point there. But that this is unreal, that we will accept. Unless you accept that, then there will be no question of what is reality. When you ask this question, what is reality, automatically you mean that what I now see is not real. समझ में आया? थोड़ा स्पिन हो गया, ऐसे ऑफ स्पिन से ऊपर चला गया. Huh? You don't need to. That's the point. You see, am I a fool or are you a fool or हम लोग क्या गोभी का फूल? Why would no? Why would you, no? You don't need to believe me. That's your right. Vedanta doesn't ask. You see, Vedanta doesn't ask any one of you to believe. What I am just saying is these are some hypotheses. Experiment. Explore. What is science? Anyone who has read what is called scientific method? There is a branch of science which is called scientific method. Has anyone read that? थोड़ा थोड़ा pure science भी कर लो भाई, इतना technology क्या है? So anything that is verifiable, repeatable, observable is science, right? Does anyone differ? No. Vedanta says the same thing. It can be repeated, it can be observed, it can be verified. So Sri Ramakrishna did not say, Swamiji went and asked him, have you seen God? Sri Ramakrishna said, yes, I have seen God, but you cannot see. Like, that is my privilege, because I have, this privilege membership wala card. You're not allowed entrance in many places in airport unless you have that card. So anyway, so that card I have got, so tum to bacche ho, abhi jao. He did not say that. He said, I can see God clearly or more clearly than you, and you can also see it. It's a process, it's a path. If you follow it, you can also do it. The same thing. वही principle लगाओ, वो आपको भी वही result मिलेगा. So you don't need to believe me. In fact, you don't need to believe anything, but you need to see for yourself. Now you may say, why should I need to see? Not necessary. But then if you are so dumb, I don't think you will be in IITK. So if you are a thinking person, you will definitely explore things, right? Why is it that everything is going wrong? And then you explore, and then at least you can begin. That's why we talk about sleep, because everyone goes into sleep, at least I suppose so. Even if for 3 or 4 hours, you go into sleep, and then you can explore. You can see dreams. You can think about that.
If there is only one conscious entity, what does it even mean that something is going wrong?
It does not, but the problem is you have not now realized that entity. Because even now when you see just the sentence construction, if there is only one entity, you think that it is different from you. That's the whole point. अभी भी आप उसको ऐसे देख रहे हो कि if there is one pizza, tandoori pizza, similarly there is one entity. But that is not how the thing is. There is only one entity means और कुछ नहीं है. So if you realize that, then you will understand what is actually going wrong. Now that it is just a mental construct, na? And mind is also not real according to Vedanta. So the point is, we instead of saying that this is real or this is real, we begin with the unreality of the universe. We say that the thing is unreal. And why? Because, for example, till now there is no way it can be proven that a person is dreaming or sleeping. Do you know that? Huh?
Recently there was article newspaper. We might be living to another world, philosophies. Most were expected things.
हाँ, वो न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल मत पढ़ो, साइंटिफिक रिसर्च जर्नल पढ़ो. हाँ, तो एक्चुअली it's a very old thing. You know, we have this what you call helmet kind of thing where they put this probes where they study your EEG, fMRI and all that. So if a person is sleeping, it generates the same kind of waves, alpha, beta, gamma waves. And if a person is dreaming, also same waves. Or, a person is dreaming and waking, same waves. Even in dream, if you eat pizza, the same places of brain will be fired. And if you eat pizza and waking, also same place. So there is no way to find out whether you are actually awake or whether you are asleep. There is no empirical method to find it out.
In Swami Vivekananda's book, one line is there.
Oh, in the whole book only one line is there.
He uses the word, I am one with the universe.
So when there is only one reality, and then you understand that you are that reality, because there cannot be two things. So then you say I am one with the universe, but that's only a manner of speaking. There is no universe also. But that is only for expressing. That's why I said you can never express reality, because whenever you try to express reality, it will become wrong. You will use words, you will use sentences, you will use grammar, and it will become wrong.
So, I'm just thinking, like supposing you are looking at sea, and two different persons looking at sea, and they will perceive different. And if you take some brain, it will be different. So it will always be unreal. That's what you mean. Like my way will be different from.
No, that is one way to come to an understanding that there may be unreality. But actually to understand that it is unreal, you will have to go a bit further. This is one way you can understand.
Then if we are one with that, then who realizes that?
There is nobody to realize. That's the point. So you have to, see, that's why this imagery is given. There is sun and there are clouds. You have to just remove clouds. You are not going to realize something. You are just going to remove the covering. That will automatically come out. It's called self-effulgent. Swatah pramana in Sanskrit we say. It's self-evident. You don't, for example, diamond is there, उसके ऊपर कुछ rubbish is there. तो आप गंदगी निकालो तो वो अपने आप चमकेगा. उसके लिए अलग से टॉर्च नहीं डालना.
Who is thinking that it is different? You said that.
It is because of ignorance. We don't know where this ignorance came from. Nobody knows. But some beginningless ignorance, you think that you are different, I am different, etc. जैसे एक केव है उसमें अंधेरा है, you don't know since when it is dark, but you strike a match, it will become light. उसको देखकर इतना परेशान हुआ क्या हो गया भाई दुनिया हाँ?
But who would know that?
You would know that there is nothing to know. That's the point. But it is interesting how much one can talk about something which does not exist. Illusion. Huh? Okay, thank you so much for patiently not sleeping. And again, as I told you, if you have any questions, tomorrow you can ask and we can continue it, or you can also send mails, etc. The whole point is that, you see, everybody lives. Everybody goes through this RKM thing, roti, kapda and makan. But they don't make any mark on this world. Only people who think. You can think at a different level, on the technology level, like Steve Jobs did. Or you can think on a social science level, like APJ Abdul Kalam did. Or you can think on a different level. But I rather invite you to think on a more, supreme level, a level that really counts, a metaphysical, philosophical level, that what you are seeing, is it real? Thank you.
And tomorrow we will be having this spiritual retreat from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So you can ask your questions to Swamiji. If you have any specific thing to discuss with him, you can call Shubhodip at this number. And tomorrow and day after tomorrow, and the same, the timings are 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. tomorrow, and day after tomorrow 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. we will be having this spiritual retreat. So don't miss it.